Hello, and welcome to this somewhat experimental LoreWarrior, where I'm going to be reading about the Firestarter Omnimech from both the original technical readout 3058 and the more recent, comparatively updated version. So I'll begin with the original, and then I'll read straight through the capabilities and deployment overview of the second one, and it'll give you, I think, more of a broad picture than me just making two videos to farm views that way. But explanation over. Let's get into it. FS9-0 Firestarter Overview. During the Clan War, the great houses of the Inner Sphere pledged to support each other with exchanges of technical information, as well as for troops and munitions. As part of that agreement, the Federated Commonwealth manufacturer Coventry Metalworks gave its Draconis Combine counterpart, Luthien Armor Works, a license and the manufacturing specifications to produce the Firestarter. The fact that Coventry chose such an over-specialised mech to exchange when it could have provided much more viable designs speaks volumes about the depth of the Inner Sphere's grudging alliance. The executives at Luthien Armor Works thanked Coventry for their support and filed away the next-to-useless Firestarter designs. When the Combine's turn came to reciprocate, they sent Coventry the slightly modified FS9-0 Firestarter rather than specifications for the original design Combine omnimechs such as the Avatar or Sunder. The rationale for this choice provided by Luthien Armor Works stated that Coventry's production line was already set up to manufacture the Firestarter, and modifying that line would require less time than starting up a new one. The Federated Commonwealth has officially accepted this explanation, though some believe that the DCMS simply didn't want to give their cutting-edge mech technology to their ancient enemies. Capabilities. This standard battle mech has been modified to accept modular weapon systems, though it retains fixed forward and rear firing flamers. Its primary configuration is equipped with a Beagle active probe, 2 large lasers and 2 additional flamers, raising the number of flamers to 4. This configuration closely matches the standard Firestarter weapon mix, making the operational transition to the new Omni technology easier for units receiving the mech. The other known configurations show the standard situation-dependent mix of weapons. It's interesting to note that almost all of these configurations incorporate a C3 slave unit. It appears that the Draconis Combine is beginning to accept C3 as an integral part of their tactical doctrine. Deployment. The modular Firestarter is currently being manufactured for the Federated Commonwealth, Lyran Alliance, and Free Worlds League. The Federated Commonwealth is replacing older versions of the Firestarter with the new design, on a one-for-one basis at Battalion and Regimental HQ. Other house militaries are beginning to deploy them in lance-sized units. FS9-0 Firestarter Overview. Originally thought of as a throwaway battle mech when the technical specifications were given as a gesture of goodwill by Coventry Metalworks, the specialised design of the Firestarter prototype was modified by Luthien Armor Works to be able to accept interchangeable weapons pods. As reciprocation for the goodwill gesture, Luthien Armor Works returned to the FS9-0 Firestarter, and the rumour mill immediately began to talk about whether the relationship between the two companies would continue or wither on the vine. Proving the naysayers wrong, at the first conference of the Second Star League, the two companies hammered out a licensing agreement that allowed Coventry to begin production of a Black Hawk KU line. Capabilities. Like the Black Hawk KU, which is also produced on both Coventry and Luthien, the components used for the Firestarter are functionally the same at either factory, while the exact make and models depend on the locale. Some configurations, however, seem to be house-specific depending on the weapon systems used. Most configurations centre on a piece of special electronics, either an active probe, tag, or a command-and-control slave system. The rest of the space is taken up by various weapon systems, seemingly configured for a mech warrior's personal preference. Only a few configurations put the mech in a specific dedicated role. Configuration C provides fire support for a C3 equipped company, while the DCMS's Configuration E is the complete opposite, intended to be a close-in brawler with its array of pulse lasers, medium-range missiles, and a sword. The Free Worlds League has designed a configuration for those Firestarters shipped during the Second Star League, taking advantage of their superior extended-range laser systems to create an effective long-range sniper. If the Firestarter has a weakness, it is the complaint from pilots and technical crews of its lack of ample space and poor use of fixed equipment. Many believe permanently mounting the jump jets, flamers, and extra heat sinks has only restricted the naturally flexible nature of an omnimech. These same critics argue that If the equipment is needed, pod versions could be mounted quickly, and more effective weapons can be used in the meantime. Deployment. Despite the dubious beginnings, the Firestarter has made its way into many Draconis frontline regiments, serving in either a close-in or long-range support role. Many have come to view this as a multi-purpose mech for lighter units, able to replace aging workhorses such as the Phoenix Hawk, Wolf Trap and Trebuchet, while streamlining their logistics with standardization. It isn't uncommon for certain Draconis Combine Battlemech companies to have anywhere from a pair to a lance of this flexible machine. The former Federated Commonwealth states, in contrast, originally assigned their Firestarters to replace the lighter FS9s on the battalion and regimental level, preferring to use the expensive and fragile machine in a more specialised role of reconnaissance. However, with the need to rebuild after the Fedcom Civil War, many have now found their way into the command mech position of light lancers and companies. So let me know if you like this system, because I'm happy to go back and read the original ones for like the Raptor and the Strider and stuff, and the Owens. But even the information is a bit different between the two books. So, original TRO. Mass, 45 tons. Chassis, endo steel. Powerplant, 270XL. Cruise of 65. Max of 97 kph with 6 jump jets of 180 meter capacity. Armour is standard. Armament, 2 flamers and 13.5 ton of pod space available. Manufacturer, Luthien Armorworks and Coventry Metalworks. Primary factory on Luthien. Communication system is unknown. Targeting and tracking is unknown. If we go to the later TRO, Mass, 45 ton. Chassis is a foundation reinforced endo steel with a powerplant of a GM270XL. 65 cruise, 97 maximum, with 6 Luxor load lifter jump jets with 180 meter capacity. Armour is a Duralex Nova system. Armament is 13.5 ton of pod space and 2 hotshot flamers. Manufacturer Coventry Metalworks and Luthien Armorworks. Primary factory Coventry Luthien. Communication system is the Cyclops 18XS adaptable, and targeting and tracking the Cyclops Special Limited. So even the later book kind of expanded on all of that information there. For instance, the armor has a name. Even the armament listing is different in the flamers and pod space, and then the other one is pod space and flamers, but even the flamers become hotshot flamers, and the original was just flamers. The chassis gets a name as a foundation reinforced. We then get a mention of the fact that Coventry Metalworks is also listed as a primary factory, not just Luthien. As the site as well, and the manufacturers, at least that lists both. Stats-wise, as far as I know, it's both exactly the same, same double heatsinks at 24, 696 on movement, with the armour package being 9 on the head, 20 on the CT, 7 on the rear, 16 on both sides, also 6 on the rears, and 12 on the arms, and 16 armour on the legs. The primary configuration then of the Firestarter, and this is reading from the later book because it's got more configurations. We've got the large laser in the right arm, 2 flamers in the right arm, Beagle active probe in the right torso, and a large laser in the left arm. So yeah, triple large laser and 2 flamers. Hot. Very hot. Alternate configuration A is a LB-10 in the right arm, with its ammunition located in the right torso, and a small laser. So quite nasty, tanky. We have configuration B, large pulse laser, small laser with tag, and 2 medium pulse lasers and C3 slave. The lasers are located in the arms, left arm and right arm respectively, the tag in the right torso, and the small laser also in the right arm. Configuration C is 2 LRM-10s, 1 in each arm, with enough ammo for 12 rounds each, so about 24 rounds of fire, if you just fired 1 all the time, or just 12 split between. A single small laser in the right torso is the only thing that protects it at close range. Configuration D is an LRM-5 in the right arm with more than enough ammo, 24 rounds worth, a medium laser in the right arm, Guardian ECM in the right torso, and an ERPPC in the left arm with a slave system. Alternate configuration E is the one mentioned in the write-up, with a MRM-20 in the right arm with 12 rounds of fire, a small pulse in the right torso, and the combat sword in the left arm, and a medium pulse laser in the left torso. Configuration F is an all-laser def dealer, ER large, ER medium, ER large, ER medium, ER small, spread across the arms and torsos and the head, with an extra double heatsink in the right torso. And finally, the G configuration that mounts an LB-5 in the right arm with 40 rounds of fire, 3 medium lasers in the left arm, and a small laser in the left arm. Yeah, so the Firestarter jumps up into the medium category when it becomes an omnimech. It's like an evolution of sorts. Not bad artwork, I'd say. Both of them have pretty much the exact same artwork. One's coloured in the original book, whereas the other one just goes more to a line art system. It's interesting that they got Dwayne Luce to come back for the later TRO to redraw the original coloured artwork, which you'll see in the video here. It's not bad. I don't think it'll light anyone's world on fire. It's one of those mechs. Even the write-up pretty much says that the Firestarter Omni is just a mech. Like, it's there. And it's mainly getting pressed into service later on post-Fedcom Civil War. And in the original TRO, it basically says it's kind of a slap in the face from Kirita back to the Federated Commonwealth, in a kind of like, oh yeah, here's this Omnimech we said we'd give you, bye. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. The other part about this is that this only goes up to configuration D in the original TRO, so obviously a few extra ones, E, F, and G, got added in the later TRO, but the write-ups are exactly the same, just, again, different labelling of where the weapons are mounted in some cases, like the ERPPC being listed first on the Delta configuration, whereas it's the LRM5 listed first, for instance. So, yeah, just weird little quirks like that. But if you like this longer form style, I will continue with this for the rest of the TRO 3058, where there are 2 write-ups, and then you can hear any of the ones that are all pro Word of Blake, aren't they amazing? And then the other one can just be the, hey, this is the original where you actually learn something about the fecking mech. So we'll go from there. I've ranted for 11 minutes now. Have a good one all, and I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.